Welcome to a bonus episode of the Craft Parenting Podcast. This is a podcast about two craft beer lovers with a parenting problem. This week we went to West Side Brewing to talk to Julia, the co-host of a local Cincinnati podcast called Truth, Beer, and Podsequences, and we talked all about what makes the West Side of Cincinnati the West Side. During this discussion, however, Julia brought up one grievance about the West Side, and that is the topic of this bonus episode. It's a short, quick episode, but hopefully you will enjoy the conversation. As always, make sure you subscribe to our podcast, follow us on social media, and share the show with your friends. Enjoy the show.
So we're going to move into the RIP and the potential, there's something additional that I want to throw in, West Side complaint.
Okay, go ahead.
A lot of people on the West Side do not use their driveways. They park on the street.
It's very frustrating.
It is.
True.
Like Josh and I, we use our driveway because our street is incredibly narrow, and for some reason they still let people park on both sides of the street. So sometimes it's crazy. But my mom, who I'll tell her to listen to the episode, so shout out, Mom. She always parks in front of her house and not in her driveway because she's like, well, I don't want someone else parking in front of my house. And I'm like, but
you don't need someone else to park in front of your house.
Exactly. So and it seems to be mostly a West Side thing that people are like, oh no, I need my driveway free for what?
So the only time, we have a single car driveway. And then we have a little pad in the space between the sidewalk and the street that the original owners put in. And we're like, we're keeping this, we're using it.
Yeah.
So we can get both cars in and out without bothering anybody else. And the only time that we have parked on the street on purpose was because, okay, we're having a bunch of people over. I'm going to reserve the two spots in front of our house.
And that's
like
acceptable.
20 minutes before the party, I will move the car so then our people can hopefully park in those spots and they don't have to walk 20 minutes.
Right.
But like we have a spot, we can only park on one side of the street in our neighborhood. But we have a spot that's a hill with a curve, and people will park in their big trucks right along that curve. So it's like I can't see around it to get upstairs, to get up the street.
Right.
And so it's like you're constantly like trying to weave in and out of cars to figure out, okay, can I go? Can I not go?
Right. The only time that I park on the street is typically if, like a lot of times, if Josh is going out with some of his friends, he still mostly work from home where I'm going into the office every day. So my car blocks his in the driveway. So I'll just park on the street. He'll get home at like midnight, 1 a.m., and then I'll just kind of groggily walk out to, the street and to pull my car back into the driveway to get it off. But I don't know. West Siders, I love you, but use your damn driveway.
Well, because
use the driveway.
Even when we had 4 cars at our house, Joe's car was in the garage, my car was on the driveway, my mom's car was on the pad, and then Larry would park on the street because Larry was leaving the house the most. So the spot would be empty half the time.
Right.
And then if like Joe needed to get somewhere, he could just use my car, or I'd move my car so he could get out. But it's like, no, we're not going to take up 2 or 3 spots on the street just because we can, because there's no need for us to.
Well, I am glad you guys are driveway users.
Oh yeah.
And not street abusers. I don't know. I tried. I don't know if that worked or not, but we'll roll with it.
I am down for it, and I understand.
Excellent.
I understand as well. I've never noticed. I have noticed
that and been annoyed by it, but I haven't put it.
It's really bad in my mom's neighborhood.
Yeah, if you get through certain neighborhoods, you will see that the streets are completely lined with cars and the driveways are perfectly empty. And it's like,
okay, so
oh boy,
I'm gonna call you out.
You're gonna call me
This used to
out.
be your family.
Oh.
Because your parents insisted that both of them were going to be able to park in the garage. So they would both park in the garage. But you and your brother were both driving. So you guys had 2 cars on the street and 0 cars in the driveway. I would park in the driveway whenever I came to visit. But both your cars would be on the street.
But we were on a cul-de-sac. It's not like it was a throughway.
Yeah. Though one time I almost called the cops because his dad had his hillbilly truck. There was literally 2 trucks welded together.
Oh my gosh.
Because it was it was a half a good truck and a half a good truck, and we put them together to make one whole truck.
He went to U Pull and Play, and that was the farm
That's
truck.
amazing.
It was the farm truck, but something was mildly wrong with it, and he's like, "Oh, I'll fix it over the winter." So he brought the truck over, parked it on the street, and then proceeded to not fix it.
Yeah.
So we got a snowstorm, and I'm like, I should have built a snowman in the back of his truck because I really wanted to, but I almost called the cops on it because I was like, it's been 4 months and you haven't moved this truck.
Yeah.
I have to park up the street because there's nowhere for me to park.
Man.
I love you, West Siders. Use your driveway.
Yes. Yes, yes.